wonder what friendship could be. My little pony. Until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure.
Oh, Justice League Unlimited. Truly the question was your show's Kramer. Compared to Batman, he was less subtle in his paranoia, but more subtle in his costume choice. Hey, I'm Tezzle and you're watching Side of The Toon. Folks, let me tell you about a well-known phenomenon where the only reason a cartoon exists is to sell the merchandise that it's based on. Popularized in the 80s, the toy companies, reluctant to wait for an original cartoon to get well-known enough to buy the toy rights to, came up with the idea to make a toy first and then use a cartoon to popularize that. And no toy company has done this with the sheer amount of success and notoriety as Hasbro. So much so that in 2010, they teamed up with Discovery Communications to make their very own TV channel, The Hub. Being a fledgling network, most of their programming right now is old syndicated cartoons and live-action shows, but there's some real gems on there. Batman, Doogie Howser, Fraggle Rock, and because it's Hasbro, you got your classic old-school Transformers and G.I. Joe, but we're not here to talk about the old stuff. We're here to talk about the new stuff. Their flagship material consists of complete reboots of their old beloved franchises, even one or two new shows not based on toys. So let's see what I'm reviewing first.
My little pony, my little pony. Ah.
What? My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. Has got to be, without a shadow of a doubt, the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life! They did it! They took My Little Pony, one of the most vapid, empty, pointless, stupid, nonsensical pieces of animation ever to attempt to entertain little girls, when all they were really doing was putting colorful nothing on the screen simply to make them want to buy the toys, and made it good. I gotta tell you, they went above and beyond the Call of Duty with this. They completely reworked the concept of a society full of ridiculously girly ponies, and they had fun with it. And the product is, well, it's not the greatest cartoon on earth, but just the fact that I can say this sentence, My Little Pony is good, amplifies that to a level of greatness. Most, if not all, credit for this incredible salvaging of a once ridiculed franchise goes to none other than Lauren Faust. Who is Lauren Faust? She's an animator who is best known for her work alongside her husband, the slightly better known Craig McCracken, creator of such beloved cartoons as The Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, Frankie Foster from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, she's based on Lauren Faust. A little bit of trivia for you next time you're watching the show. Or looking up inappropriate fan art of her. But let's get back to the ponies. Let me break down everything you need to know about this show before getting into it. First, the art. Don't let the flash animation fool you. Just like Kick Buttowski, the vector animation is by no means being used as a crutch. Sure, they'll copy and paste some ponies for background crowd shots, but that's hardly a serious enough offense to overlook their constant use of original poses and fluid animation for the main foreground ponies. Second, the cute. This show is amazingly cute. If you're not into cute, you will hate this show and everything it stands for. Even if you manage to get used to how cute the adult ponies are, look at the little ones! See that? Apple Bloom just gave you diabetes. Congratulations, best death ever. Third, the puns.
Mirror in the moon? But that's just an old pony's tail.
Stand back, you fools!
Every pony for herself!
It seems we have some naysayers in the audience.
My Little Ponies.
Does any more even need to be said concerning the puns? Nay. 4. The facial expressions.
Zombies?
Got it!
Okay.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!
Zombie pony?
Still shots of those have filled entire online forums multiple times over. In between the questionable fan art. But let's get into the actual content of the show. And yes, there is content in My Little Pony. I know, right? I can't get over that. Let's start with the main cast. First, there's the ruler of Equestria, the kingdom in which Ponyville resides, Princess Celestia. It turns out that she's actually kind of their god, and even if she wasn't, there's still no one higher than her on the royalty ladder thing. The only reason she's a princess is because little girls like princesses? That was Hasbro's idea, apparently. Stuff like that just makes you appreciate the crap Faust has to go through to get as much legitimate entertainment on the show as she can. Television executives of today still think that little girls don't want to watch good cartoons with relatable characters and solid continuity and storytelling. They just think that they want...
My little pony, what will today's adventure be?
that. Celestia isn't actually in the main cast, but she's a pretty important character I have to get out of the way before introducing the others, starting off with Twilight Sparkle. She's the bookworm of the bunch. Princess Celestia sends her to Ponyville because she spends all day cooped up in her library with her books and her baby dragon assistant named Spike. We'll get to that little guy later. Celestia wants Twilight to come out of her shell a bit and learn the magical power of friendship. And I'm fairly certain that's not a metaphor. Given the pilot episode, harnessing the power of friendship could make for some very powerful pony juju. Next, there's Spike. He's a baby dragon, but he can walk, talk, usually has more common sense than a lot of the more silly characters, so really the only thing that makes him a baby is that he doesn't look like this. Also, he can belch green fire that transports whatever it hits straight to Princess Celestia. And that's still more reliable than our postal service. Spike is one of the only characters that has a canon attraction to another character, Rarity. We'll get to her next. It's always a funny subplot whenever it's brought up, but given the age difference, the species difference, the demographic the show is intended for, and the fact that depending on what species of dragon Spike is, he could grow up to be 1,000 times the size of your average pony, this will never have any kind of payoff in the future. Sorry, little guy. Your love for Rarity is nothing more but a mere running gag. Rarity starts out the season as fairly useless. She's almost a throwback to the super girly days of My Little Pony, or she would be if not for the fact that while she's materialistic and fashion obsessed, she makes all her clothing and runs her own fashion boutique, thereby making her a positive female role model who dedicates herself to her artistic endeavors and uses those talents to run her own business. Though I can't imagine how successful she is. I mean, most of the ponies just kind of go about nude. Make of that what you will. In the latest episodes, where Rarity finally gets a few stories dedicated to her, she really develops as a character and makes for some great comedy.
This is whining. Oh, this harness is too tight. It's going to chafe. Can't you loosen it? Oh, it hurts and it's so nasty.
Fluttershy is the soft-spoken animal lover. Very soft-spoken. Not much to say about her. I mean, she has plenty of funny moments.
You do not, I repeat, you do not hurt my friend. You got that?
Although now that I think about it, her best moments as a character are when she's in dialogue with other ponies.
Louder. Yay. Louder. Yay. Louder. Yay.
Applejack is the hard-working farm girl. What does she farm? Apples. Apples and apple accessories. Her whole family is named after apples. That is their family business. Some are better at it than others.
That'll be 4 bits. I didn't put those in my bag. Likely story. 4 bits, lady. Apple bloom.
But back to Applejack. Again, not much to say about her. Most of her episodes have been about her butting heads with other ponies, like Rarity, who she has too many differences with, and Rainbow Dash, who is the other tomboy of the bunch. Now, if you've seen the show before, I know what you're thinking about Rainbow Dash. Tomboy, athletic, has whatever that is. But come on, this is a kid's show. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and maybe someday we'll get there. But for now, there is no possible way to say one way or the other whether or not Rainbow Dash is so obviously a lesbian that it's laughable. But no, in all seriousness, Rainbow Dash is the coolest character on the show. You can debate who's the best, funniest, cutest, etc., but for the sheer coolness, you can't get any cooler than Rainbow Dash. She's so cool, she can just look at something and tell you how cool it is.
It needs to be about 20% cooler.
Have I said cool enough? She's really cool. Last but not least, we have Pinkie Pie.
Hello?
What can be said about Pinkie Pie? Well, I suppose if you had to attempt, to even try, to even think how to sum up Pinkie Pie in only one measly little tiny sentence, she could probably best be described as the Andrew WK of Ponyville.
You know what this calls for? A party!
Because she loves to party. Oh, also, she loves to randomly burst into song.
When I was a little filly and the sun was going down. Tell me she's not.
And there's legitimate singing on this show in general. Some of it's actually pretty catchy.
Winter wrap up, let's finish our holiday cheer. Winter wrap up, 'cause tomorrow spring is here, 'cause tomorrow spring is here.
And some of it's just hysterical.
And we will never stop the journey, not until we have our cutie marks.
Some of you may still be watching this going, dude, regardless of everything you've told me, this is still My Little Pony. It's for little girls. You've got nothing for me. Don't I, oh masculine viewer of mine? Don't I? I recommend this show to everyone. Oh yeah, I said it. I have only scratched the surface of this show, because I could rant all day about it, but I don't want to spoil some of the really funny moments. My Little Pony airs Fridays at 1:30 p.m. on The Hub. It used to be available legitimately on YouTube, but sadly they took the channel down. If you don't like it, if it's not your thing, if it's got nothing for you, that's fine. But at least give it the time of day. Sit down. Watch a few episodes. Odds are you'll be hooked. You'd be surprised. And there's nothing wrong with liking My Little Pony. At least, this show. The older shows...
I know!
Ugh. Sweetie Belle, play me out.